So this is the pocket cannon nobody's talking about. This is the Glock 29. It's one of those pistols that feels like it was designed by engineers who said, let's see if this works. A subcompact frame, a short grip, a short slide, and they chambered it in a full powered 10 millimeter auto. This is no beginner's pistol. And make no mistake, this is not a range toy. This is a problem solving handgun. The platform you see here is in a Gen 5. It has your dual recoil springs, your modular back straps, improved texture, excellent reliability. But in the Gen 4, you don't get your front slide serrations and you don't get your ambi slide stop. And honestly, this gun, none of that matters. This pistol is about power and control, definitely not finesse in any way, shape, or form. But here's the thing: the Glock 29, the grip is short, especially with a flush fit mag. So if you don't have the pinky extension and you have big hands, you're going to feel this and it's going to try to get away from you. But once you add this pinky extension, or if you want to use the Glock 20 magazines, it does transform this thing into a nice little shooter. And quite honestly, it carries a lot like the Glock 30S, maybe even the Glock 27. Glock 26 is a lot lighter. This gun's got a kick. It's not uncontrollable, but the recoil impulse is it's sharp, it's straight back, and but it is surprisingly manageable. But after a few rounds, even for me, I do have the back strap on here. Um, this particular back strap actually helps create somewhat of a flatter 1911-ish kind of angle for me, which is what I on this particular pistol, it just works for me. But if it isn't snappy like a 40, it's not really doing this a whole lot, but it wants to knock you down as well as whatever is on the other side of it. It's an authority, and it's got some punch. If you do your part, I mean, the 29 can reward you. You have to have a good grip. You've got to have good mechanics. Make sure you're holding the pistol correctly. You're the way you're standing, all that kind of stuff makes a difference because this pistol will humble you real quick. It's nothing to be afraid of, but where this Glock 29 separates itself is that 10 millimeter round. It gives you some serious penetration, excellent barrier performance, and this is a legitimate woods defense pistol. Now, if for me, if I was going on a hike, I'd probably take the 20 because it's bigger and it's manageable, and I probably wouldn't have to conceal it as much. But if you need to conceal it and you need to have the 10 millimeter on hand for those pesky bears and whatnot, you may want to have that 10 millimeter round handy. Like I said, you're hiking, you're in bear country, you would want one of these handguns that does everything in a small package. Some people say this might be overkill. Some people might not. I've read articles and I hear them that maybe for a concealed carry piece, this might not be the best choice. They say, this is more a woods gun where, a 9 millimeter is more for like a city gun. If you live in a more rural area, going to get the mail, you might encounter something that you need this pistol for. Who knows? But it feeds well, it fires well, and it extracts well. No issues. I put quite a few rounds through this particular one. I know these are a hot commodity right now. They're hard to come by. Auction sites and whatnot. These are really fetching large price tags. I don't know why. I think maybe because they don't make this one yet in the new Gen 6. And folks in bear country, whether it's, Alaska, there's, I mean, there's bears all over the country. Understand the craze for this, but there is clearly a market out there, and these are hard to find right now. The Gen 5 Glock 29s. Uh, I was almost thinking of kind of getting rid of this one because I don't really live in bear country, and these are nice to have. I do like the 20 and how it shoots a lot better than this one, so I figured I'd hold on to it. And at the very least, I'll have a nice collector's piece, and who doesn't need a Glock 29 and 10 millimeter, right? So there's no tuning, there's no spring swaps, there's no drama. I mean, this is just peak Glock energy at its core. And I'm going to address some of the obvious questions. Would I actually carry this? Yes. With the right setup, you can carry this. It carries like a Glock 30S that's in my lineup, or a Glock 29. You can carry this right in the appendix. No problems. I have no issues with the added weight. It's not a whole lot of weight. It does hold 10 rounds at 10 millimeter. Is it light? I would say no. Is it compact? Kind of. Is it comforting that you're never going to be outmatched or outgunned or outpowered? Absolutely. This gun, when you carry it, you want confidence. You don't want comfort. And for the right person in the right situation, the trade-off, it makes sense, right? Compare this to the Glock 26. This has way more power. Glock 29 versus the Glock 20, definitely going to be easier to carry than the Glock 20. Although the Glock 20 does shoot just a little bit more, little softer, a little bit more comfortable, because it's got more weight and it's a bigger pistol. The Glock 29 versus, let's say, a Glock 19. I mean, they're totally different missions, so it's tough comparison. Not even going to do that one. But this isn't a do everything Glock. This is a do serious things Glock. The Glock 29 isn't for everyone, and I think that's kind of the point, right? It's loud, it's stout, and it's, as they say, unapologetic. But if you want maximum power in a small package, you want that Glock reliability, and you want a pistol that really demands respect. The Glock 29 delivers. I have the 3-dot sights on this bad boy. They do just fine. It's not optic cut. I don't know what an optic would say on this pistol, to be honest with you. But if you like this episode and you found this episode helpful, and you want to see more Glockaholic 76, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you like this video and you feel generous enough to hit that like button, I love it. If you don't. Either way, I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts about this model, or maybe something similar in the comments. I know there's Springfield makes a nice 10 millimeter, sometimes compared to the Glock 29. We'll have a video on that. If you have tried this Glock 29 and you maybe understand why they're so in demand, I'd love to hear it. I don't really see a whole lot of folks saying why this is such an in demand pistol. And maybe it's just hype, and maybe they're not really in demand, but they're gaining a lot of favor on the different auction sites and whatnot. But I'd appreciate your input. If you know about it, that'd be great. And as always, I appreciate you for watching my videos. Train smart, shoot often, and stay ready. Glockaholic 76.